Welcome back to the Gym Unlocks podcast, the show where we share real-life gym business strategies, stories, and tips from successful gym owners to help emerging gym owners in the game become more successful faster. And in this episode, we welcome special guest Darren Reece, the man who's done it all from fighting professionally in both Rajadhanurm and Lumpinee stadiums to moving into becoming a very successful coach and business owner, taking the likes of Kaylee Reece, Eugene Eckelboom, George Mann, and many others into international heights, all while building the legendary Western Australian gym Riddler's Muay Thai. He's also a successful promoter with Epic Fight Night Promotions that he runs with his wife Kaylee, plus he's involved with shaping the future of Muay Thai in Western Australia. I found it really interesting that even after all of these years, Darren keeps on coming back to Phuket to learn, grow, and take these new skills back to his students. Plus, his personal story of how it was for him as a pioneer coming out here to train in Thailand, in Phuket. It's a whole lot different now. Let's dive into the episode. Darren the Riddler, what brings you to the beautiful tropical Muay Thai destination of Phuket, Thailand?
Definitely experiencing some Thailand, introducing lots of new people to the Thai culture, and a perfect combination of training and a holiday.
If I'm not mistaken, you were out here earlier this year in January for a little bit of a look around.
That was a bit of me time given to me by Kaylee. Bought me a ticket and said, off you go. I went to see the first Friday night fights one at Lumpinee. Got to enjoy that. 3 or 4 days in Bangkok, revisiting my old stomping ground from 20 plus years ago. Which was good, caught up with lots of people, and then came down to Phuket and trained for 9 days.
Sounds like an absolute dream. But now, that brings you up to now, and of course you're here, you're with the team, you've got a huge team out from your gym, Riddler's Muay Thai in Perth, Australia.
There's 32 of us, so when I was here in January, I thought to myself, I need to bring people to experience this, I want to share it with people. So that was my whole idea. I went back to my gym, said, who's coming to Thailand? Was far more interest than I actually thought there was going to be. Over we came. Many of them, majority, it's their first time ever coming. A number of my fighters came, and so, of course, they want to have a fight as well. So we got 7 on tonight, lucky. Very lucky to have 7 on.
A bit of a mixed bag you're talking there, so not all your
all
fight team.
All contrast of experience. Yeah, a lot of the fight team didn't come. All of my fight team work full time, so it's a matter of getting holidays. A lot are actually planning on coming over. I've got several that are actually coming to base themselves here or come and train here for a number of months very soon before the end of the year. I've got one of my guys that's come on this trip that's staying on for as long as he can stay. Good times. It's sharing it with people.
That's the key. So many places to choose from here in Phuket. I mean, we're massively spoilt for choice.
Yeah.
What about Simbi Muay Thai drew you in?
The reason for Simbi is a loyal kind of person. Singh at Simbi Muay Thai looked after Kaylee for a very long time during her career. When she had a period where she didn't have fights on, she would always come over. He would sponsor her to stay here and train for nothing, get her fights. I would come over when she was having a fight and spend a couple of days, and always looked after me really well, has looked after me really well this time when I bought a big group. So it's, you look after one another.
Yeah, no, that 100%. 2 weeks purely focused on yourself and your own personal development while you've been here. What's been some of the standout moments, firstly, for you as a practitioner of Muay Thai?
For myself, personally, I'm always learning. I train with Seng Keng. He looks after me really well here. He's a great teacher. He's got lots of tricks. He's passionate about it. He puts so much energy into the pads. Personally, get a lot out of it myself. For the gym, to see, I've got all levels from my fight team to beginners, a large number of my intermediates, to see them mix and the way they've connected and the fun that they've had. There's no group that's just stuck to themselves. Everyone's mixed. We've done lots of things together, lots of big team dinners and team breakfasts and stuff like that. But then we've had days where there's been a group of 6 or 7 go here and 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 want to go here, and the next meal it'll be a different group again. So everyone is just like blended in beautifully, but without sticking or becoming cliquey or anything like that. Yeah, it's been awesome.
So good to see for the gym culture, right? So quite deliberate. Give us a sense of the size. How big is the team out here?
We've got 32. So 32 people, which is more than when I decided to announce it to see who wanted to come, was far more than I thought it was going to be.
And so now you've done it, you brought the team out. Would you come back again?
Definitely. Yep, definitely. It's been, seeing the connection and the interaction within the group, how much people have loved it. People that are on this one are currently talking about the next one. So I'm feeling the pressure for that. But no doubt the word will spread of the good time that everyone's had.
Coming out here, just in terms of the gym and the business, we've talked about culture. How else does it help your gym business back home by coming out here and keeping this connection to Thailand like you have?
I think it's really just building a connection between people, and for people, no matter what walk of life they are, what their job is, what their age is, what you have in common is Muay Thai. So you have something in common, something that you both love, that you can talk about, that you can experience. And obviously with how hard you train here, and even how hard we train back home, as the classes get higher up in level, you also share that. Your bond is hardship, connection. People talk about hard workouts and stuff like that. Like in CrossFit, people are always talking about their workouts and stuff like that. Well, Muay Thai people are always talking about Muay Thai and training and workouts and fights and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's a big experience. And I mean, as a coach and former professional fighter at the top level, like how important do you think it is for yourself to stay refreshed on the tools coming out here to Thailand like you are?
You keep learning, because I'm teaching and I'm eyes on everyone, even with my fight team and stuff like that. I'm not really sparring and clinching with those guys. So to stay at the top of your game and to keep evolving, you need to keep learning and practicing it and being able to use it. And I feel that you should do that in your own time, not, when you should be working with your fight team. So I don't spar with my fight team or anything like that. And I do my sparring outside of those hours. So I love to come here and still keep learning and get to practice and hit the pads myself, clinch and things like that. Like, the game is evolving so much, not just the style, but the tricks, the trickery. There's so much more than there was when I was a fighter. The clinch game is so much more advanced. When I was clinching and fighting, I feel like there was barely a sweep. But now you clinch with a newer guy or someone that's been doing it for a couple of years, you got to look out. You got to be you got to be switched on. Make sure your feet are wide. Make sure you're coming back to balance after you've thrown a knee. Otherwise, you're going down. And who wants to go down?
Not so much run, because you got to pick yourself back up. It's a bit demoralizing.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, you've had a close relationship with Thailand for decades, having lived here, lived that life, and training and fighting hard in Bangkok. We spoke earlier about Rajadhanurm, and we spoke about Lumpinee and all those experiences that you've had. Like, what have been a couple of the highlights, really, that we want to talk about during your time here in Thailand?
It's hard to nail down one thing, but entire experience. And I'm so glad that I came early on and spent that time here. Like, it wasn't like I've been trying to describe to my guys without living in the past and the good old days or what a hero I am, but how much easier it is now, and how, like, this island literally exists for Muay Thai and for Westerners to come and learn Muay Thai. Back then, I had to come, and along with many other trainers, had to come here to learn the tricks, to learn how to clinch. Like, there was no clinch game whatsoever back in the early 90s and the late 80s and all that kind of thing. The answer to getting locked was to block with your forearms and all that kind of thing. And it was only like this vice-like top lock clinch, you know what I mean? So we've had to come and learn all of that. Probably the hardship, training so goddamn hard, cultural and language isolation that there was back then, because there was very little English. I was at Sangmorakot gym in Bangkok, and literally no one spoke English. And so it was very challenging. And I remember sometimes the only time I spoke English would be if I called home, say every couple of weeks, and speak to my mum or something like that, catching myself like actually counting in Thai, doing my sit-ups and thinking to myself, Darren, what are you doing? You need to have a conversation with someone. You're losing your mind talking to yourself in Thai.
So you made obviously big sacrifices early on. You and quite a few other guys from Australia and New Zealand that had to come over and really just cut their teeth this way to bring Muay Thai back home. You guys are really the sort of founding fathers of doing that and making those sacrifices. You chose to do this Muay Thai career as opposed to completing your tertiary studies at university. So it's a huge sacrifice for you. And I guess so when you do talk about it, you're not necessarily romanticizing. It's just the truth about how it's changed and evolved here in Thailand. Looking at the last couple of decades, become a lot more popular, but how has it, other ways that it's made it easier for people to come here and make Muay Thai more accessible for them?
Tourism and Thais accommodating for Westerners and camps that are obviously set up for Westerners to come and train with Thai trainers and, accommodating for them rather than being a Westerner. And don't get me wrong, I love this about my camp is that there actually weren't other Westerners there. It was just kind of me with the Thais unless one of my friends came over to train with me. So it was definitely the hardcore Thai cultural experience. But at the same time, someone that isn't able to do that for a very long time, it speeds up the process of what they get out of it. You know what I mean? They don't have to come here and learn the language and be isolated and be on their own. They can come here, they can experience it, they can train for 10 days, 2 weeks, 3 weeks and have a fight. So it's just been made easier.
Yeah. Yeah, more accessible. So Riddler's Gym, for those who don't know, give us a quick rundown on who it's for, how long you've been running, who you help, and how you help them.
I started the gym as I knew that I wanted to be a coach. Halfway through my time in Thailand, I'd have a lot of time to myself. I'd be writing notes and planning for afterwards. Decided to open Riddler's in 2003, feeling like I needed to start building for the future, setting the future in place. The only downside of that is it kind of made my retirement come sooner than I would. So physically, I still felt very good. Mentally, I made a natural switch from a professional fighter, perhaps selfish to a degree where you're thinking about yourself and your own training, switched over to thinking about other people. And so I got to the stage where I was having 3 or 4 or 5 fighters on a show. And I was the main event or semi-main event or something like that. So as well as dealing with the nerves of being a young trainer and being like super excited and over the top, by the time you get to your fight, you're like, you're not fighting at your best. So I lost a couple of fights that I feel like I would have won if I was in that correct headspace. So it made the transition very, very natural for me. And so from there in 2005, obviously the gym was just 100% focus. I was promoting shows to help keep my guys busy, and it just progressed like that.
And give us a sense for the gym, like, how many active members, how many active fighters have you currently got sitting on the books?
Huge fight team, about 30. I've got a lot of up and comers. I've had a lot of experienced guys retire over recent years, just sort of run their course. Females that have decided they wanted to become mothers. Guys that have been enticed by FIFO life, and earning an income, which kind of gets to that point where you have to make a decision which way you want to go, because obviously for most people, fighting and Muay Thai isn't their career path.
30 fighters and like, just in terms of membership, like, are we 200, 300, 400? Where are we sort of sitting in the gym?
Yeah, we're up there a bit.
It's a vague answer.
Yeah.
Good. So just around like who you're helping, clearly it's Muay Thai, but you offer other things inside the gym too.
Obviously Muay Thai is our specialty. It's what we're known for. People come to us for it. Over the course of years, I've added other things in that have become of interest to other people. Years ago, as a hobby, I started getting into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I really enjoyed that, so I decided to add that into my gym. That was like actually 10 years ago now, and I've still got the same BJJ black belt coach, Luke Ainsworth, taking it for me. He does an amazing job. I've also had the hobby of strength and conditioning, CrossFit, stuff like that. Myself and Kaylee enjoy training in that, so we've added that in, shared it with people, and it's very beneficial. It's cross beneficial. So doing those kinds of things really helps your Muay Thai game, and we find someone might not come to us for strength and conditioning or come to us for BJJ. They come to us for our Muay Thai and our name, but then from there they decide to cross train, and that was the whole idea, to give you more things available.
Yeah, more value to the customer. Yeah. I think that's a great retention piece too, right? And it gets people to just experience more. You get more bang for your buck. To run a successful gym today, what are the skill sets that you need?
Obviously, you need to be able to manage people and see the bigger picture, see what people want. Sometimes you have to evolve with things. Importantly, just making people feel a part of something. Everyone is looking to be a part of something. You know, the difference between a Muay Thai gym and, say, going to Jets or something like that is there's no connection between people. Everyone's in their own space with their earphones on the machines or doing their weights, and they come into a gym where as soon as they walk in, they're greeted and someone says hello and asks how their day was and stuff like that. You know, people are wrapping their hands, getting ready for class and just talking and stuff like that. No one's got earphones on. You know, we've got music playing, and it's their happy space.
So important in today's society, especially with so many pressures on, right? Like a place where you can go, just forget about everything and have something in common from the get-go. During the travel restrictions, obviously none of this was possible, but I know you were quite intentional. So what did you do to keep the Thai traditions alive in your gym while we had these travel restrictions on us?
Something that we have done for about 9 years now at Riddler's gym is just once per year. We only do it one time per year. Thai training camp experience, 3 days, 6 sessions, 12 hours of training, and then we have a big Thai dinner at the end of it. Fight team, we hold pads for the guys. Some of my experienced fighters come in and share their knowledge, which they really enjoy. You know, it's mostly beginners and intermediate level people that do it, and just we push them to that new place and let them, like what happens when you come to Thailand, you know? You think you're tired, you think you're sore, you don't think you can do it, you decide to do it anyway, and then you realise, I can do it. That was a really big thing, and it's something, because we only do it once, it's something that fills up quickly, and people really look forward to it.
Popular because you've built the name and the reputation around it and the promise of what it delivers. People are, it's almost like a legend, right?
Yeah.
I love that. If you lost it all tomorrow, everything was lost, the whole thing was gone, you had $5 grand in your pocket, how would you start it all over again?
I would just start. I would find somewhere and I would just start. I know what to do.
What would be the first thing you'd do?
Put it out there.
Let people know.
Spread the word.
Let people know. And clearly it's a lot easier now to put the message out there than it was back when you started, right?
Yeah.
So think about your first 100 members when you got those.
Yeah.
What kind of tactics were you doing to get the first 100? Because that's a business.
Back then, word of mouth was most definitely the biggest thing. Tweaked that and added to that by actually doing physical letterbox drops. Can you believe that?
I love it, mate.
And a few ads in the local paper, which I may add got very little response. Biggest thing was word of mouth. You know, sometimes offering bring a friend and get a couple of free weeks membership if they joined up. That was probably the biggest thing. Mailbox drops. Wow, they were a lot of work. Like physically walking the streets myself. There.
It's what you do, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, look, I mean, you know, if you really believe in your product, which you clearly do, you know, you'll find a way. You know, business is hard and it is a lonely road. It can be challenging. So who do you turn to for professional advice?
Very early on, got some help from my first coach, actually, my first instructor, Sean Allen. He developed a very big school, did a little bit of business coaching and stuff like that. And he was someone that was definitely a big role model to me and someone that I looked up to and still do. I found a lot of the way myself by just simply trusting myself and doing and delivering what I feel like. I've got very high standards. So a lot of the things I've done just seems natural to me, like what Riddler's Gym is known for being very friendly. People always comment, wow, I was so scared to come here. I was so intimidated. I've wanted to come here for months. Geez, I wish I'd come in sooner. You guys are all so friendly. All those kinds of things, just simple things like acknowledging everyone that walks in the door or saying goodbye to everyone when they're leaving is like natural to me. Like I hate it when I walk into a shop or a restaurant and no one even acknowledges your existence or attendance or that you've walked in, you know what I mean? So those things to me are natural, but they're what people love about Riddler's Gym. And there's nothing false about it. It's just treating people how I like to be treated. Very recently, one of my students, Frankie Deegan, went on to become a very big and successful business coach, developed his own gym as well. He's helped me with quite a few things, especially with developing my kids program, which he had a very successful one. He taught me about a little bit to do with social media and social media advertising, which was really a big thing, talking about letterbox drops of how things are done now. And that made a massive difference when we were trying to build the kids program up.
That's good. I think that if anyone could take the lesson out of that, really, it's just that look for those who have had success and potentially model that success for your own. Don't copy it, but model it and as inspiration and insert it into your gym so you can get success as well. You know, I noticed your skills reels very early on, and I found them to be really beneficial. I think one of the biggest successes on Instagram is delivering value in an entertaining way. And I saw your skills reels early in the days. Like, tell me how that idea came about.
The idea came for me from Jason Lee, who is the Nakmoy Ninja on TikTok and Instagram. I have to give him full credit for that because he actually, without me knowing, he helped organize and did a junior Thai camp. So between three gyms, Diesel, Riddlers, Legends, we did every school holidays. We did it several times. We did a kids junior training camp. He one time filmed a load of my instruction a week or two after, just sent me all these reels that I could use. It was absolutely incredible of him. It started from there.
Yeah, because I've interviewed Damien Trainer and he credits social media with his gym success. He says, look, you know, I don't advertise. I don't have to. The social media does all the advertising for me and it's free. So what would you say to that?
I feel it's important. I don't feel it's the be all and end all, but add to your exposure to show people your ability to teach, to share information, your technique and ability level, just for getting it out there of what you can do in your level. Like if you do a great one that is appealing in the social media world and algorithm, and it gets shared by a few people, that can do a lot for your international exposure and obviously local as well.
That's it. That's good. I'm glad we touched on that. So in terms of media exposure, in your opinion, what can we do to expand awareness outside of social media of our sport to a wider audience?
It would definitely be handy to get more support in mainstream media. That is what we need. That is the difference between boxing, MMA, like UFC, and Muay Thai. Fortunately, we don't get that support, and I just don't know what it is, but because we don't get the exposure, we're not getting the exposure. We're not being supported, so we don't get the support.
That's the riddle.
I remember when Kaylee won the Lion Fight world title in February, Las Vegas, against Tiffany Van Soest, and defended her WMC world title the next month in March, 4 weeks later, and I couldn't get her in the West Australian newspaper. They were not interested, but yet they're happy to talk about a footballer that's got a groin injury, tore a heart muscle or something, got corked in the leg and he's out for 3 weeks because he's got a cork in the leg.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They were not interested at all. I don't know what we can do about that. I think maybe as the profile of one championship spreads and the fact that it's been accepted by 7+ and is getting mainstream exposure like that, although a lot of traditionalists don't like or support the one championship style, it is at least spreading the exposure of Muay Thai and actual fighters. Like, those fighters are getting paid a lot of money now and are becoming superstars. Thai one championship stars, those guys are mega stars in Thailand. So that has got to eventually carry over into mainstream media and support, surely.
Yeah.
Surely.
I'm sure.
So I'm sure it's got to be building. Those guys are going to become a bigger star than a boxing star, surely. We're on the same level as a UFC star,
so
something like that. So I think it's building.
Yeah, I feel like it's building too. And as soon as you start to get those audiences in, you get the eyeballs in, the advertisers come to feed the eyeballs. As you just said, you know, compared to the traditional stadium styles, now this more entertainment style, which is, you know, more purebred for TV and eyeballs and new audiences. I guess that's the big debate, right? Like, what do we trade off? Do we trade that, or do we trade making more exposure for Muay Thai, making it more sustainable long term? Fighters these days, what can they do to grow the sport within their own communities?
I do ask my guys to share stuff, mainstream or social media, and getting yourself out there without it being too much too soon. One of the downside or the problem side of social media is people painting themselves up to be a superstar, telling the world how great they are, rather than just letting their actions do the talking. That's the negative or the downside that I see with social media that's annoying with that. Newer generation actually telling you how good they are, how hard they're working, how good they've got. Just simply do the work. I'm very big on my fighters staying humble and not talking rubbish like that. Just simply get the result by focusing on your training. On the other side of that, if you stay anonymously in the background, you don't spread the name of yourself, and potential sponsors want someone that is active on social media and has a name, has a following. If you've got 20,000 followers compared to 2,000 followers or 1,500, who do you think is going to get the sponsor? And that sponsor could help support you train more or get more product.
Yeah.
Not have to buy supplements or training gear or something like that.
Yeah, so practical
That's
advice.
a double-edged sword.
It is practical advice there for those fighters, right? Like, a majority of fighters, their first sponsor is the gym. Mere thing, they could be talking about their experience in the gym, what's going on for them, you know, how the gym is benefiting them, what's happening in their training regime, without, as you say, pontificating around their performance or anything, but more just talking about their daily experience, what it's like to be a fighter.
Yeah.
What it's like to have to go to the gym when you really don't feel like it, or your body's just telling you and protesting no. That's the kind of wisdom and advice we can all get benefit from, whether we fight or not.
Yeah. Also for me, you know, I try to encourage my fighters about the fact that they are competing and promoting the show that they're on, having been a promoter for so long and knowing how risky it is for promoters and how much hard work it is. Promoter has put you on, you're following your dreams, you're doing it because you want to do it. The promoter is providing the platform for you to do that, for you to achieve your goals. So the least you can do is promote the fact that you're fighting on this show, and can you please come along and support me and buy a ticket or buy the stream and come and support me to help pay that promoter back who's taking a risk on me, rather than not sharing it, keeping it to yourself because you want to focus on your training.
Good point.
So you've got to look after the promoters. Without the promoters, there's no sport because there's nothing to fight on. Without the fight, the fighter's not in the gym.
He's not incentivized to be in the gym. He's out doing somewhere to get his kick.
Because he's lacking motivation because he doesn't have his next matchup.
For growing Muay Thai in Australia, in your opinion, what's the future look like?
The level of the fighters is amazing. There's a lot of opportunity in the developing fights, grassroots, you know, C-class fights. We're coming through. We've just got to continue on that process, and there's a lot of new promotions that are taking the fighters to this next level. So the main challenge is keeping them in the sport rather than them making the choice after a few fights to, I need to focus on my career. I need to go and get my job. In WA, we're dealing with, the fly in, fly out opportunities with serious money that these guys are being offered. That had a big effect on my fight team over recent years. Just got to keep the fighters active, give them opportunity so that they can see their path and their reason for sacrificing those things,
So really it's the development through and then trying to get them to pro where they can see the payoff, right?
Yeah.
Keep involved. And that, I guess that's where you're getting a bit excited about One Championship and some of these other platforms that are providing these opportunities.
RWS, which has more of although it's a 3-round fight, they're wearing Muay Thai gloves. So the traditionalists are looking towards that and, the 8-man tournaments and stuff like that they've had on. So, if we've got those two things, we kind of maybe just need a couple more things or something just below that in between. So higher than the domestic level, but not quite as high as One Championship and RWS, because obviously you need to get noticed to get to those.
So we're looking at a lot of these guys transitioning over from Australia. They really are coming to Thailand, sticking with the relationships that you guys have built, going into these opportunities and then working with those teams and then trying to go into their feeder fights, right? Which is, the Friday night fights, for example, or RWS, because they fight like every day.
Fairtex fight.
And coming through those to give them that opportunity. And you're really well equipped for that because you've got the relationships, you've got the partners in place, and you've got a very well-developed team. So robust in terms of team and talent coming through underneath that. So you must be feeling pretty confident.
Confident, and that the pathway is there. But at the same time, those young fighters have to be committed to the cause of the path, understand the path, know that probably to get their shot, they're going to need to base themselves in Thailand for a while because organisations are putting guys on who are based in Thailand.
Yeah, they got to be seen.
So
Eyes on.
Look at the guys that are fighting in One Championship, Friday night fights, RWS, they're guys that are at Venom, etc.
Yes.
Yeah. All those kinds of ones, Tiger, Muay Thai, Simbi have had guys in RWS,
PK, something
like that.
Yes. Looking at those partners, right, that you can make those.
So you're going to need to develop, through that D class, C class, B class, A class in Australia, winning a higher title, international title, where I'm developing my name to then get invited to those, or am I going to Thailand to express route that entry, that path in there?
Yeah,
by going and getting noticed.
Yes. And I mean, but there are shows like Rebellion, Side doing amazing work. Those shows do get noticed. Promoters do look at that talent.
100%. Several of my guys have been noticed for much bigger fights off of Rebellion and shows like that. So definitely Rebellion.
So great work there. And obviously, as you said, the pathway is clear. Stick with it. Have faith, young Jedi.
Yep. Yeah. Throw yourself over the wall.
No regrets, mate. We don't live in regrets. But if a younger Darren was sitting right next to yourself right now and you had 3 business decisions that you could do differently, what would they be?
Want to hear something funny? The only business regret that I have is when I shifted into my new big Riddlers, I bought a coffee machine. And it was shit. It was nothing problem. That is my only business mistake.
It seems to me Darren's going to keep these close to his heart anyway. We're not going to get these out of him no matter what. So how do people support you and your endeavors, Darren, with Riddler's Gym, and how do they stay in touch?
Stay in touch. Say hello to me on social media. Darren Reece on Facebook. That is my personal one. Or Riddler's Gym Instagram. That is about the gym, my fighters, promoting the business.
Too good, mate. Too good. Appreciate it.
Thank you.